scratch your eyes post-match phone-in on X or Twitter or whatever it's called these days.
Well, good afternoon, everybody on Twitter, X, whatever we want to call it, and everybody on YouTube, etc. Well. What do you want to say about that? I think emotional roller coaster, championship stuff at its best, but let's not get over the fact that, I mean, we've waited a long time for an away win, so let's bloody well enjoy it, eh? I think that would be heartily reasonable, wouldn't it? To enjoy it nonetheless. I mean, wow, here we go in. We're looking like we're keeping the ball really, really well, but we're not creating chances. We're not getting chances on target in the first half. We're not working the goalkeeper, but other than that, we're playing really well. This is like Coventry. We're playing really, really well, but we're not actually finishing. But look at we go 2-0 down with a goal that I think a lot of people would be asking a few little things around the defending. I think Kyprianou was kind of held back by Lannis, the Derby player who got it. Makes a change, and up card carrying, I'm up there. You know, we talk about KMB and obviously Sissoko, who was there at the end. Not sure he did that much, but boy, oh boy, did his Oppo KMB do stuff for us. We made the switch to 4-4-2 on Vivaldo Semedo, who isn't necessarily somebody who's covered himself in glory, but had a decent stint when he was playing one up. Had a couple of runs out, you know, alongside Dumbia there. Both of them working incredibly hard. And what happens? We get back into it. And we've won for the first time since, God blimey, somebody tell me, is it the last time we were at Derby? It could well be. I'm not sure. Look, guys, please, let's come on and enjoy it. I love what Vic Baker said there. Weird old game. Great result. Absolutely it is. Also, KMB to all his doubters. And there's a lovely picture there of Harvey Elliott flicking two fingers. There you go. Fair enough. Edo KMB haters not happy, says thank you very much, Gary. They're very good. So lots of little discussions to have. Let's see what everybody thinks. I think it's got to be a day to enjoy that most certainly, and see what everybody. Let's start with Rich, shall we? We haven't even mentioned everybody's second favourite club, Barnsley, getting a great result today. But enough of that. Let's get on to first things first. Rich, sir, what do you think of that?
Yeah, good, wasn't it?
Oh, blimey! It was roller coaster stuff, and if you can't enjoy that, then frankly, go and concentrate on a different sport. I would have said.
So right. I mean, how on earth do you pick the bones out of that game? You've gone from we're playing lovely football to what on earth are we doing? My goodness, what on earth are those subs all about? Wow, didn't the subs make a difference? It had everything, didn't it? I mean, at the end of the day, over the moon for the away supporters today. Absolutely over the moon for them. It's all about them today. Well done to the team. They deserved the victory. And let's not kid anybody. You know, anybody that watched that game knows Watford deserved to win that game. Did I think they were going to win it? Because every time Derby they were causing chaos with set pieces. Every one of those goals, all 5 of those goals were absolutely terrific. I mean, even the penalty. You don't save that penalty in a million years. I mean, every single goal was absolute quality. The whole, you know, and you know, there's players. You pick the bones out. You think, you know, Luke has just gone and scored a goal. He's not having a great game. Get him off the pitch, change it, or put Mamadou up with him, or do this, and then he scores a terrific goal, carbon copy goal from the one a couple of weeks ago where Ngakia crosses in and he meets it brilliantly. Great goal. And then you scratch your head thinking, because if you've played centre forward, you know, which is my favourite place, as I've said many a time, why on earth would you then take him off when he's just got a goal and put a marker down to the defenders that I'm there, and he takes him off, and I'm scratching my head and I'm thinking, why are you doing this, Javi?
Yeah, I agree.
And then he brings on Mamadou and he brings on Semedo, and they were terrific. They run around, they caused havoc. Irin Kunda came alive. You know, the ball that Mamadou put through for him for the penalty, absolutely terrific. I mean, even Gavin Ward, who's a referee that finds the life out of me, and I just don't like him. To be fair, he gave the penalty. You know, he was there. He gave it. I mean, you know, he's gone off the pitch as he's been fouled, and sometimes you can get away with them. But he was there to give it. I thought he got the red card wrong not because Irakundu, ironically, Mama was Mama.
Oh no, Mama. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Mama was. It wasn't. I don't think it was a red card because he was the last man. I think it was a red card because he was practically scissor kicked. Through the tackle was horrendous, but because everyone's looking at the last man, they're not actually paying a lot of attention to the tackle. You watch it back in the cold light of day, that's a red card tackle. I can't believe he stayed on the pitch for that. So even the referees had an up and downer for us, but we got there in the end. There's so much to pick out for it. You know, as you say, if you can't enjoy a game like that, and I really did enjoy it, and I just kept thinking to myself, though, what are we as a team? You know, if we can't win this game today, it was such a big win for so many reasons. Because if we do walk off the pitch having not even taken a point, and obviously, you know, we're 2-1 down with a few minutes to go, so you're not thinking about winning it. I'm thinking just get a point, because if you can't get points in this game, it's going to suck away so much at the confidence, and people start saying you're just a mid-table championship team. You are what you are. You haven't got the balls to win away games, blah, blah, blah. We can forget about all of that now. That is well and truly off our backs. And if we can take something into Tuesday night and get a result then, and suddenly you start thinking the confidence will build. Yeah, we've possibly lost Bar now. That, you know, I don't know. Am I being unfair in thinking I didn't think he fancied it? I don't know. I'll probably retract that very quickly. It probably is a bad injury, but I just felt with him that he didn't want to get up. And I'm probably wrong. It's probably a nasty injury, and I apologise, you know, Quadro. You know, I hope it was a dead leg or something silly, and he can get back up again. I really do, because, you know, we need him in and around the squad. There's no question about it. But, I did feel, come on, get up. You know, you know, your boy, the team needs you today. But it probably was a nasty one. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there was, as I say, the substitutions were strange. I mean, Cipriano, I thought, why is he coming off and not Kayembe? And Kayembe then goes and scores 2 goals. What the hell do I know? You know, I mean, it's a mad game, mad afternoon. But I think for the football that was played on the actual pitch, for an away team to go that, I know we got a great record against Derby. I think that's 5 out of 5 we won now against them. And I know, ironically, they had a 5 out of 5 winning streak. So, you know, lots of little stats there that are flying around. But we've had a great result. We've had a good time against them. But no, enjoyable, thoroughly enjoyable. And I don't mind admitting, I jumped out of my seat, punching the air. I don't know how many other people did it, but the minute that cross came in and Kayembe jumped, I jumped because I could see he was going to score. It just looked like he was going in, you know, and he just, fantastic. And enjoyed it. If you can't enjoy that, as you say, you might as well pack up and go home. So let's look forward to a cold, wet, horrible night, no doubt, on Tuesday at home to the horrible Preston, with Mr. Jebberson coming down and Jamal Lewis coming down. You know, ex-Watford-ish players. I'm using the word very loosely. You know, let's get out there and get stuck in and have a go, you know, because we've got something there. And no, I enjoyed it, thoroughly enjoyed it. And fair play to Irankunda. You know, he had an in-and-out game, and then he came alive at the end there, and he was hungry and he was quick, and they didn't know what to do with him. They were terrified of him at the end there, and brilliant stuff. Enjoyed it.
Good stuff. Rich, before you go, because you on social media, you put a couple of bits out just about, there was the what's the phrase? The at our place on Wednesday or Thursday. I forgot. Yeah. The week is just blurring into one at the moment. And I mean, for anybody who knows, we were asked, or rather we were told, that it was not a content gathering event. So, with respect to that, that's fine if the club want to say that. But I understand that they were sort of videoing it, recording it, and are going to put something out. And I think that's been. I don't think I've seen that yet. But
You haven't?
Well, yeah, no, exactly. But for anybody who wasn't there, could you just give us a really high level summary without going into any detail that's going to take anything away? Because obviously, for me, if the club are going to put something out, fantastic, no problems whatsoever. If not, then I think it's a shame to not at least share with everybody through whatever mechanism one can, kind of the feel for it. The overall hearing that I wasn't there, but what I've heard was that if there was nothing negative or revelatory or anything like that. But was there anything there that you think, just from a summary prior to anything coming out from Watford, might be good for people just to know? Because let's face it, it's a feel good day. Let's keep that rolling.
Well, that's right. I mean, as I said, when I tweeted out, for those that follow me or see my tweets or whatever, I held on a couple of days to not do it because the club did say they were going to put something out. Now, if the club say they're going to put something out, I think it's fair that something should be out within 24, 36 hours minimum.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, it's not hard. Kevin Affleck, who is the head of communications and social media stuff, but he stood at the back of the room all night. All he was doing was being a secretary, checking us all in. Where is his and his team? He didn't even chair it. The meeting was chaired by Tim Coombs, who is, for those that don't know the name, is the Vicarage Road announcer.
Yeah.
Tim's been in and around the club for a long while, but I don't think he's an actually employee of the club as such, unlike Mr. Affleck, who chose not to chair it or do it. And Tim did a good job, but it was very much a case of, I thought Richard Walker used to host those evenings excellently. He had control of the room. Tim did okay. So Tim was there. On the top table, we had Scott Duxbury, we had Valon Barami, we had Gianluca Nani, and we had, of course, Javi. Quick few questions that were fired out, quick headlines. Rocco Vata, but Barami told us, unfortunately, a very, very serious, he used the word serious injury. He said 3, probably 4 months minimum before we see him again. Okay. Very unfortunate. And they were gutted, and they eulogised about how he was coming on as a young player, doing his tracking back, really coming on and learning the game. So it was a real hammer blow for that.
Yeah.
A quick one. Somebody asked about, obviously because of the loser, bits and pieces in the media last week about him changing agent and So people asked about, are we selling anyone? Scott Duxbury made it absolutely clear there's no plans to sell anyone, and certainly if and even if there was a thought about it, Javi would have complete control of whether a player was sold or not.
Good.
Obviously, the always caveat: if someone comes in and offers 60 million for someone, obviously they're going to go, aren't they?
Yeah.
We all know that. We can't argue with that. On the flip side, there was no plans to bring anybody else in. The reasoning for that, and it doesn't mean that won't happen, but the reasoning was put that they reckon on average 4 to 5 what would be considered first team players can't even make the squad at the minute, and the squad is a bit heavy, and there is a little bit of unrest. That was their words, not mine. A little bit of unrest with players because they're not playing, which I suppose happens at every club. So nothing to see here as such.
Yeah.
I suppose the argument was that we may be top heavy with players, but maybe we have too many players for the same position. I think Greg, without taking his thunder, asked the question about we haven't got a left-sided centre back, which was acknowledged, but Gianluca Nani went on about transfers or whatever. But Mr. Nani's quite hard to understand on an evening, but anyway, we'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I asked about Udinese's sale. Has anything happened? An investment? They skirted over answering whether Udinese were basically still up for sale or not, but did say that Gino was 100% invested in the football club. He wants a promotion challenge this year, and they're always open to investment. It was then asked about why on earth was Pezzolino brought into the football club. Scott Duxbury said it was 100% a Gino Pozzo appointment.
Mm-hmm.
However, he realised that it wasn't working. Gino rung Scott Duxbury. He said to Scott that he's thinking and wanting to bring Javi back. Scott said of course, I was happy with that, but I did push back to Gino and say, we sacked him before. What was the reasonings for doing that? We need to assess that before we bring him back. Gino basically admitted through Scott that the biggest mistake he's made as Watford owner was sacking Javi the first time round. He should have left him to do the job and build. And he's very, very much his man this time around. So we will see. So that was quite, hopefully that looks good for Javi there. So I had a few notes I wrote in case you, I still got my note. I then asked about, ironically today, I asked Javi about Quadro Bar, because as those that know me, and most of us, I think, want him to be a right-sided player. Yep. And I said, Javi, I'll get a bit of emotional on Saturday when I see that Bar isn't playing, and even when he does play, you put him on the left. And he smiled at me, to be fair. And he said, no, I agree with you. There's no doubt about it. Quadro Bar is a right-sided player. Yeah. I'm working one-on-one with him. And it was ironic today when I saw the team sheet and I saw Mama was playing. I thought, oh, who's playing right wing today? Yeah. Then? And fair play, Bar played right wing. But the rest is history as today, as we've said. There was other questions. Excuse me for trying to remember everything. No, okay, yes, there was one. I remember the one I asked about. I only had 2 questions, by the way. I just tried to cram in as much. You don't get the chance very often to. You ask the question, but you don't get chance to follow back on that question. Although I did on this one. At the previous fans forum, which was held at Vicarage Road, which was Tom Cleverley's last one, where ironically Nani was there as well, Scott Duxbury said to us, and I think you were at this one, Pete, so you'll probably be able to collaborate what I'm saying here, that Scott talked about 2 South American young players coming to join us this summer, just gone. So I said to him, well, what happened to them? He basically said he had no recollection of saying that. I pushed back on that one, even though the mic had gone. I've got quite a loud voice. And I said, no, Scott. I said, actually, at Vicarage Road, you actually did say that to us, that 2 South Americans were coming in. And there was a few nodding heads around the room that obviously possibly were in the room that night as well. And he still would have none of it, saying, no, I have no recollection of that. He passed the microphone to Gianluca Nani, who, again, bless him, went off on a tangent about we're always looking at players, blah, blah, blah. So read into that what you like. I wasn't overly impressed with that question, as you can, you look for honesty from your man, put your hands up and say it didn't happen, no problem. But it was as if he never said it. But there you go.
I remember because that was the one in November that Rich is alluding to there. And there was Tom Cleverley. There was a guy who was head of performance for the academy. There was Richard Johnson there. And you're absolutely right. Nani was there. Yeah, I do remember the conversation, because it was going along the sides of the question around the fact that there's kind of 2 types of signings we were making. Ones that were, long-term investments, younger players, and absolutely South America, was mentioned, because obviously João Pedro and the like was mentioned, and Richarlison. And I remember him saying about, we've got 2 young players who are going to be, really, really exciting, and we don't have a problem bringing in those young players. I remember because I talked to Carl about it afterwards, because whenever we can, and we were allowed to at that particular point, these rules seem to have changed and gone back to the former at your place rules, which is, everything stays in the room, Chatham House rules, whatever you want to have. And if those are the rules that it's run by, who are we to change it, etc. But you're allowed to kind of, talk to everybody, and it's been a little while. I think it's reasonable to just kind of get Rich's comments. When I went through it, my notes were that we've been talking about South Americans, but he talks about young players. I'm not sure they were definitely going to be South American, but he absolutely did say we've got 2 very exciting young players going to be joining in I think he'd said the January or the next window, or whichever one it was available. So he certainly did in terms of that. But so it's a good day to hear it with Javi there. presumably, I mean, and everybody's going to be very pleased at the moment. Sorry, guys, and I will get to everybody there. I'll get to Paul, I'll get to Ian, Danny, Phil, Harry. I'll be coming to you very, very shortly. But I just wanted to have people have at least a little kind of understanding from somebody who's been there firsthand, and Rich has been very kind to give us his thoughts on it. It seemed to be a positive day for us, most certainly. Yavi was there. He spoke in his post-match in his pre-match conference and said it was lovely to meet all the fans. I'm presuming that with Yavi there, that was all very positive.
100%. I mean, there was no. Yes, everyone you can sense in the room is delighted that Javi's back. Well, I think there's a mixed thing. Let's not be what's the word I'm looking for? Hypocritical.
Okay.
At the end of Javi's reign, quite a lot of us were probably thinking something's not right here, and have he changed and things. Now, since then, obviously, we've read about off-field things and bonus things that caused destruction. But quite a lot of us at that particular time probably realised that something needed to change. We were wrong, as simple as that. Now, in the room the other night, we've just come away from having Pet Solano. Now, I think everybody in the room is just so pleased that episode is out the way. So Javi's come on, someone we know, someone we can understand and get behind. So I think that helps Javi, and Javi has still got a lot to prove. He's still got to do, 88 minutes today and coming on this thing, we might have been all having a very different conversation.
Yeah.
That's the thin line of football and success. I believe that Javi is getting it right, slowly but surely. I believe the players are playing for him. You've only got to see the excitement to the goals today. So, yes, to answer your question, in the room, 100%, there's a positivity behind him. I think there's a will to make sure that he is very much backed. There is a feeling that he has control. One other thing Mr. Duxbury said. One other thing Duxbury said was that Gino Pozzo is definitely now not based in the UK. He's based out of Italy.
Yeah.
So he's not in the training ground looking over his shoulder every 5 minutes. I know he's got his lieutenants perhaps to do that, but Javi's got his team around him, and I think everybody should be pretty positive. And even if it's for the start from today, we've won an away game. We're up and running away from home. We're doing all right at thing. It was a good, healthy night. If you want to get down and ask questions and you just take the ballot as so-called that you can't get in, just send an email, pick the phone up, do whatever. If you want to be there, there is always room to be there. People want sometimes one or two on social media say, oh, it's always the same people that go in there. Well, it isn't actually. A complete load of different faces that I saw the other night. Yes, I was there, and I always want to be there. And why wouldn't I be? I want to talk to my club. I want to hear what it's all about. If you want to do the same, don't moan. Get off your arse. If you're unsuccessful in the ballot, send them in an email. There is an easy commute, and just say, I'd like to be put on the reserve list. And you're every chance of getting in. I've been on the reserve list 3 or 4 times over many, many years. I've been going to fans forums since Graham Taylor's days. Yeah. And I like to go to them to listen about what's going on at my club. If you want to moan at me for taking your seat and you want to go and you want my seat, drop me a message and I'll see if I can help you get in. I've got no contacts at the club. I have a very unsettling feeling about a lot of people in the top echelons. I'm not a fan of the owner. I'm not a fan of the chairman. And I go and I question things. I'm a fan of my team. It's my football team. I will be there long after Mr. Pozzo, Mr. Duxbury. I will be there, health permitting, for a very long time. So if I want to go and ask a question, I'll find a way to get there. So rather than sit and moan and say, oh, it's always the same people, get off your bums, put an email in, and if you don't get in, make it known, and then we can maybe try and help to get you in the next time. But yeah, hope that helped a little bit of a summary for you all. And it's a great day today. We won.
We've won. Absolutely. It's great news. There is unfortunately some sad news I have to share with everybody, which is Rob Sterry has let us know that he watched over spotty Wi-Fi from the Turks and Caicos Islands for a Thanksgiving break. If we could all just have a little whip round for poor old Rob there. slumming it in the Turks and Caicos Islands, so to improve his Wi-Fi. Well done, Rob. That's the way to live, sir. Well done indeed. Well done. Rich, sir, thank you very much just for shining a little bit of a light on what happened. It sounds mostly positive. With Yavi in, I don't see why it wouldn't be. And after today, even more so. So thank you very much indeed for that. What a great public service we get there from Rich. Thank you very much indeed. Oh, somebody's gone who I'd let him earlier on. Let's get to Paul Fiander Turner. Then I'm coming to Ian. Then I'm coming to Danny. Then I'm coming to Harry. Then Wendover. I will be with you all shortly. But look, that's a good day. It's a good day to enjoy it. Let's revel in it a little bit, but let's hear what you think. Mr. Fiander Turner, sir, are you there?
Good evening, Peter. You all right?
I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Other than obviously the very sad news about Rob Sterry's patchy Wi-Fi in the Turks and Caicos Islands, I'm all good. Of course, there's also Barnsley 5, Luton 0, which we could also discuss. But what are your thoughts for the day?
I need to be honest with you. When I missed the comeback at Wembley a few years ago when Watford were 2-0 down and I left because I had a broken arm and it was all going all nasty and I missed the greatest comeback at Wembley history. Same thing happened today. I missed the start of the second half because I went to see my mum in her care home. Had no idea what was going on with comebacks or anything. Got in my car and TalkSport announced that Edo Kembe suddenly became a footballer again. So I'm not really sure what happened, but don't you just love football when crazy stuff like this happens and you can celebrate being completely oblivious to what your team's just managed to do on a Saturday?
I think this is excellent news. I think I'm going to twin Paul Fiander Turner with Mark Schofield, who said, I was so angry at 2-0 down that I decided to have a catnap. And lo and behold, we went on to win 3-2. So I'm campaigning for Mark to have more catnaps, you to go and see, your mum more regularly, and all of these in order that we finally win games. These are clearly the keys to success. Oh, well, look, every time we're 2-0 down, I think we need you to vacate the area, not be watching anymore, and then hopefully only good things happen. How are you feeling about that, though? I mean, regardless, have you managed to see any of the goals?
Yeah, I mean, what I think, and this is what we were talking about in the group chat. In the first half, you could see that there was a shape, there was a fight, there was a team that was put out today that were up for it. And let's be honest, when you go a goal behind in previous incarnations of our club, and you can go back a million games over the last few years, we've had a lot of people that have shied away, but Xavi's got them wanting to battle and want to put a shift in and want to do a little bit of the dirty shithousery. And it's great to see because it just feels like we're always going to be in a game and give ourselves a chance. And I think that's what's going to get us a good season. If we can get a result Tuesday and build on today, I think we're on for a better season. And I wasn't feeling this under the previous head coach because, let's be honest, he was batshit crazy. But you can just feel that there is a belief and there is a formation. But crucially, there's a bit of a spine and a little bit of a backbone being built. And long may it continue, Peter. Long may it continue.
Absolutely. I love that very much indeed. Lee Jackson, I think that's Lee Jackson, I'm not sure, says Bar was celebrating like a lunatic when we scored, so he thinks it might be mere cramp. So look, we've had a lot of, and I have to say, and I know we say it a lot, but absolutely respect to everybody who travelled to Derby again, having had, more or less, well, since last February, I think it was, that we got a last win away from home, again in terrific voice, doing it time and time again. I can only applaud you guys for doing it and hope everybody's having a safe journey home. But yeah, these are the days when you can enjoy being a Watford supporter. I mean, fundamentally, if you can't, what's the point? You've got to enjoy it for sure. Let's get to Mr. Ian Bacon of Bedfordshire Hornets fame. Ian, sir, are you enjoying that? And obviously, I appreciate your near neighbours, in Luton losing 5-0 to Barnsley, but Barnsley are a big team in League One. What are your thoughts today?
Well, I've been at the game, and the fact that it's still going to take me another hour to get out the car park, I really couldn't care less. My voice is going. I sound a bit like Mariella Frostrop for those of a certain age.
Formative. Yes. Louis Teixeira, go and Google Mariella Frostrop and explain to your mother it was me who told you to do it. Carry on, sir.
Absolutely brilliant. When the third goal went in, there was absolute scenes in the way end. Absolute scenes. It was absolutely incredible. And to the guy who was standing next to my right, I do apologise for bear hugging you, but it was the only thing I felt like doing at the time.
No. Only thing to do is to hug and maybe French kiss somebody you've never met before.
It was no, I didn't do that, Peter. That's not why I've got a sore throat. No, it was brilliant. A close first half.
Yeah.
They took their goal well. I mean, it went sort of over Baxter, but he had absolutely no chance. And just on Baxter, I think he should be our starting goalkeeper. Because he made a great save down low at the end of the first half and a brilliant save from a free kick in the second half to keep us in it.
Nice. It's good, to have a number. It's great to have a number 2 goalkeeper that we're not on here worrying about that. I mean, it was interesting. There was an interesting debate in the group chat that we have here, and also with my son, who people were saying, should he have done better for Derby's first goal? I thought it was, hit with pace, and it was just one of those.
No, I don't think so.
He's not going to get a chance to react, but you were pleased with him, and that's good, and I'm pleased with that.
Yeah. But second half we were brilliant. Javi switched a couple of times, Othman and Aaron Kunda, which side they were playing on.
Yeah.
And it's when he switched Aaron Kunda to the left that Doumbia put him through for the penalty. Kayembe had a really good game, actually, for those people that knock him. And there's nothing but the penalty was at the far end of the ground from where the away end.
Yeah.
There's nothing better than when the goalie's diving one way and you see the ball going the other. I mean, we were all celebrating before the net even rippled. It was absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And yeah, such a great team performance. Me man of the match was Matty Pollock. He'd have headed a brick wall if you'd have told him to today. He was absolutely brilliant. Loser was a little bit quiet, but that's no bad thing, I guess.
Yeah.
He didn't do anything wrong, don't get me wrong, but he had a quiet game for his high standards. But no, it was absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible.
Lovely stuff. Well, look, I'm glad you enjoyed it a lot. As somebody who was in the ground, that it's an odd one because we seem to control that first half. It was very reminiscent, I thought, of the Coventry game earlier in the season, where we went, how are we 3-0 down? How are we down to 10 men? And how are we seemingly playing better than them, but not happening? Almost just before we got into it. And of course, the end was, all logic goes out of the window, and you're trying to get, we get the penalty back, and suddenly momentum shifts and all that sort of stuff. But it felt like we were playing really quite well in the first half. And we were controlling that middle. And in a way, the goals came when we weren't playing as well as we had done when we went to goal down. Is there any logic in this football, or do we just all go, football, bloody hell?
Oh, who knows, Peter? Who knows? But no, we were very much on the front foot for the game. Straight from the kick-off at the beginning of the first half, we were straight down their end. No, we were brilliant. Bola looked good again. Othman had a good game. He didn't win many of his one-on-one dribbles. That's something for him to work on. But he worked hard. He tracked back hard. Aaron Kunda doesn't track back as hard as the rest. That's something he needs to work on. Would be my gambit on him. But no, absolutely brilliant. We were. I've been listening to what's been said before. We was all a little bit surprised that Luca went off after scoring the first goal. It could have either been Hector or Kayembe that went off. Take your pick. I'm glad he left Kayembe on because he scored 2.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah, it was
small things.
sorry. I'll say that again. Kayembe scored 2. Yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. And the away end, we were fully behind the team even when we were 2-0 down. But when that third goal went in, I was absolute scenes. It was brilliant.
Ian, sir, lovely stuff. Thank you. They're live from Pride Park car park, it would sound like.
Yes.
Excellent stuff indeed. Glad you've had a fantastic afternoon out. A safe drive back to everybody, obviously. Let's get to Danny. See what Danny's up to. Danny,
can you hear me this week, Pete?
I can hear you this week. This is very, very good.
There we go.
Are you in a car park next to Ian?
We are. Yeah, we're literally just at the Derby Conference Centre, just waiting to come out of the car park. So, but I don't care, mate. I'll wait here all night.
3 points away.
Yeah.
Come on then. You tell us the story of your day.
No, do you know what? Like, I thought first half we had to play really well. I mean, gets a run of play, we're 1-0 down, but we've been going down 1-0 a lot this season, so you just get used to it. And then we go 2-0 down. He thought, oh, here we go again, another 0 points away from home. But these boys, they got a lot of fight about them, a lot of heart. They made it 2-1, and then it's Aaron Cunningham wins the penalty, and then it's full blood to Watford. I mean, it was just there's limbs, and then there's Derby away limbs. We did it last season, we did it this season. Can we just play Derby away, every game, and we'll be off and running? So no, brilliant.
Derby County, very much the M&S of away celebrations. This is very good. So who we got in the car? Who has experienced the first?
Obviously Dad and the boss.
Yo, man.
Dad and the boss.
Yeah. G'day all. There you go. So I mean, that's the first win since when was the last one? Was it
Middlesbrough
away, wasn't it?
Middlesbrough.
Grief.
I mean, it was a long time. It's February. I mean, it's been a long time coming. But if you're going to win a game like that, you do it. You win a game in the 85th, 88th, and KMO scores 2. So I think we must be dreaming, to be honest.
Can't be bad. You guys follow home and away as much as many of you guys who are just absolute heroes, traipsing up and down, supporting the Yellow Army, which is fantastic. What do you think this result means for the rest of the season? I say that because at 2-0 down, I thought this week was really, really important, and I appreciate every 3-game week is important. But we've talked about feel-good factors, and there being a kind of a better feel-good factor around Javi being back. But they're like balloons; they can be large size, but they can also be popped easily. So this result pushes obviously that feel-good factor into Tuesday, and then obviously we've got the following Monday away at Birmingham, which will be an interesting one. How do you feel when we look back in May? We might look back at either this week or this result, especially.
I mean, we've got to bounce with another win on Tuesday. If we lose on Tuesday, it's going to be well, what was the point in that on Saturday? If we follow with a win on Tuesday, we'll be like, oh, this could be massive. I mean, let's all dream. If we get 3 points Tuesday, 3 points Birmingham, I mean, we're in serious dreamland, aren't we? But it could be a pivotal win. But again, we've got to follow with another win on Tuesday. Otherwise, it's going to be, we'll be back to square one again.
Yeah, absolutely. And don't forget, anything that goes up can go down. That was Derby's, on a 5-game winning streak. And then things reverse. How important was, because somebody who scored 6 goals in those last 5 games the last 4 games of the 5 games that they've won, was Carlton Morris. He went off. I don't think he made anything particularly apparent today, but how important do you feel that was in the deciding factor of the game?
Oh, it's important, mate. I mean, my personal opinion, I think he shat his pants, to be honest, and just thought, I can't be asked for all the jeering. off and goes. Can't be asked for the Watford fan jeering me. I don't like it. And then, but do you know what? In all seriousness, it was important because whatever you say about him, he's a championship goal scorer. He knows where the back of net is. He's been on fire recently. So I think as soon as we saw Morris come off, we thought, oh, we might be all right. And then obviously we got 2-0 down. It's like, oh my god. But like I said, credit to the whole team. Javi as well. It's like taking all these managers to realise Sissoko can't be picked from the start. It's where you have to credit him, because most managers feel like they have to be players like him, but he's not picking him and getting results. But how ironic, Sissoko's on the pitch at the end of the games, Kiyembe as well, and Kiyembe's got 2, and we win a match. So how ironic is that? But,
look, it's always going to be a game of fine margins either way it goes. We like to try to focus on the performance. Obviously, the result's going to have a play as to how we feel about it. Of course, it will do. But in terms of that performance and in terms of our own run, that's now 4 games unbeaten, 2 draws and 2 wins. So we will see where it takes us. But Danny, sir, look, on the back of some understanding of what was going on at our place the other day, and then today we find out the startling revelation that Carlton Morris did indeed shit his pants. That's good. Yeah. That's good. That's good to know. Danny always there with the big stories. Danny, sir, family, have a safe journey back. Lovely, lovely stuff. Let's get to Harry. Harry, sir, how you doing? How you doing?
Hello.
Oh,
Hello?
you're there. You're there. It's all right. We're both talking at the same time for no apparent reason. What did you think of everything? Steve Woolley, by the way, on has said, first of all, it's the biggest comeback since Jesus Christ, which is, let's be honest, that's a headline news. But then he's added in with his head is fucking massive. I'm not sure he's referring to Jesus Christ in that. I think he may be talking about 2-goal Kayembe. Wow, what are your thoughts on today?
Absolutely amazing. It was the perfect game of football. Perfect away performance. We deserved that victory. Like, we played well that first half. And it was so annoying letting in that goal. It just felt undeserved. And I think that was probably one of our best starts this season. I mean, I've had to watch a lot of games on replay because I've had football every Saturday. But this is probably the first game I've sat down and watched properly since Charlton.
Yeah.
So, and that was the last time I was on too. But it was an amazing day, amazing game. Kayembe, I mean, never said a bad word about him. Always positive about Kayembe. You know, I'm sure everyone said probably somewhat when we were doing our subs for Dumbia and Vivaldo, why is he taking off Cipriano instead of Kayembe? But, you know, Javi must know something we don't. So I'm very happy.
Well, there you go. Zlatan, hello, Zlatan, says, great comeback, but first half actually terrible, he says. Javi is a very lucky man, as losing that would have been on him. So many poor performers that shouldn't get picked. Great result in the end. That's fascinating, because I think in one way it wasn't a good half, in as much as we didn't actually manage to get a shot on target, which is, let's face it, the whole point of 45 minutes. But I thought we were controlling, you know, the midfield, and I thought we didn't look as in control when we actually took control of the game. All of this just basically says I know nothing about whatever I'm talking about at the best of times, which is reasonable. But yeah, I mean, you're saying perfect game when you kind of, you know, you're down, you're coming back, you're showing not only some football panache, but you're also showing some grit and some character, which on occasions I think it's fair to say. Let's have a look at the other side of the coin. By not having those results for so long in the past, we haven't shown. We've shown it today, so we should enjoy it, surely.
Yeah, and we have to make sure that this isn't a one-off. You know, like last season when we beat Derby, it was somewhat of a one-off until Middlesbrough, and that was 4 months afterwards. And if you remember, when we beat Derby 2-0, we played Preston the next game in midweek right after them and lost 2-1 from a horrible performance.
Yeah.
So we have to make sure this time that we play proper. And if this is the start of a run going into Christmas, it'll be very happy, because I'm coming over this year for the first time since 2021, just after COVID, from America.
So what?
Because we live over there.
Yeah, absolutely. So what kind of time period are you coming back in, and have you already clocked what games you could make it to the Vic?
Yeah, so we're coming back in on December 19th, a Friday, because we got a game on Saturday against Stoke at home.
Good.
And then my dad's trying to get tickets for the Boxing Day away at Leicester, as well as the 29th against Norwich.
Lovely.
And then on the 1st is against Birmingham.
And of course, in between all of that, at some point you've got a sandwich seeing family. But
yeah, that's the most important part.
Yeah, that's an
afterthought. Of course.
yes. Let's just doff the hat to that. I love this. I love this indeed. Oh, well, look, sir, when you get over, it'd be lovely to see you, just to say hello, because obviously following, we've always got many people following from afar, and it's great to have you there. Glad you enjoyed today, and look forward to catching you, and hopefully, obviously, as many of the family as possible at those Christmas games. There goes Harry, looking forward to coming in. Love that. Oh, we know he's here. We know he's there. He gets everywhere. It's Wendover, everybody. Greg, and Mrs. Greg, I suspect.
No, Mrs. Greg today. She's at home doing wifey things.
She's not been enjoying the shopping retail parks of Derby for a change. This is good.
She hasn't.
Who do we have in the car? Colin, I presume.
Colin and Mrs. Colin.
Mrs. Colin. Hello, Mrs. Colin. Hello. Right. Excellent. Good stuff. This is the only people who give shout outs. We especially like to talk to people in the back seats, if you know what I mean. There you go. You pay your money, you take your choice. So everybody, and including, regrettably letting Greg back in on his call. What did we make of today then, everyone?
Well, go on, Cole.
Well, first 10 minutes I thought we were all right, and the last 10 minutes pretty dire in between. But
okay.
Yeah, I thought we started off all right. I thought we looked very positive, and then yeah, it sort of turned into a bit of a nothing game then, and then they scored a couple of goals, and then we managed a miraculous comeback.
Did it feel like it just kind of petered out when we moved into the final third?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, no. It's all reasonable. It's all everybody seeing, through their opinions and their eyes on it. I thought in the first half, we looked good and we looked tidy, and we didn't look that that sort of, let's call it, some of the games again, with Petzolano looked like people had turned up and never met before. We looked, I thought, coordinated, but we just didn't really kind of turn it into anything. Greg, what were your thoughts on everything so far?
As Colin said, I thought we were very bright early doors.
Yeah.
I think we're unlucky at half time to go in 2-0 down. I think we've got to learn to, and it was one thing he said on Tuesday night, we've got to improve on our second balls, because their goal, we had 3 chances to clear that.
Yes.
There was, and having addressed it on was it Tuesday or Wednesday? I can't remember.
Yep.
That is one area of our game that needs to be improved. I think, look, mate, how many miles have Colin and I done, and Mrs. Colin on occasions, we come back with nothing. Tonight we're coming back with 3 lovely points. If we can, away from home, if we can back that up on Tuesday night, we are on the verge of the playoffs.
Oh, hello, everybody. We all know what happens now. We all know the sound of the Wendover getting unnecessarily excited and ahead of himself all the time. Absolutely.
This is a team, Pete, as somebody said earlier, of fights and character, and it's a long time since we've seen that. They care. They do care. Matty Pollock is everything I want in an old fat. He's not a ball playing centre half, but my word, does he get stuck in? And I like that. But I think Bar's fine. Bar came over at the end, dancing and kicking the corner flag, and so I'm
not
sure
too bad. Hopefully.
No, well, he was doing the conga. I'm sure he's
Missing a few brain cells.
Yeah. I wonder whether, I don't always sound negative, but I wonder if the lad's a little bit immature, because but anyway, he's a young boy.
Well, Rich said he didn't know whether or not it was one of those days where he was quite fancying it. I mean, Elder seemed to not be letting him back in. He had that left foot option, but he sort of drifted in, and I say this as a compliment to Quadro Bar at his. He didn't look at 100% today, if that makes sense. He wasn't scaring the life out of the back line, and it was interesting that when Iran Kunda came on, for all of some frustrations when we haven't got the ball or various things, when he comes alive, he absolutely terrorizes them, and that was what brought the penalty around, wasn't it?
Javi said on whatever night it was,
Wednesday,
one on one. There's nobody better in the league, 1-on-1.
Mm-hmm.
But he said, I keep telling Quadro, when I buy a ticket to get on the train, I buy 2-way. I don't just go one way, I go 2 ways. And I think Javi's got that way with people. Like, he's so, Peter, the first time I've met him, he is so personable and such, I posed a question and I praised him within the question. And at the end, when I went over like a sado, like I am, to have my picture taken with him, he said, "Oh, thank you for your kind words. Thank you." What a lovely man he is. And I think there's probably a steal in this about him with the players. I'm sure if they have to toe the line, but I'm sure they like him. He's such a likable man. And you're right, the feel good factor is back. The other thing I think is sometimes a head coach fits at a certain club.
Yeah.
And Javi Gracia fits at Watford. He fits. He's got the attributes that the owner wants, but he's got that personability that I think that us Brits like as well. Look, fantastic. Look, we've won. We've got 3 points away from home, and it's a long time since we've been able to say that.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely chuffed. I'll be able to watch, the Football League show tonight, because no doubt when I get home, Mrs. W will still be watching Strictly Come Dancing. It will still be on by the time I get. God, that show is rubbish, isn't it? Oh,
you and your personal vendetta against Strictly Come Dancing.
Peter, it's the most boring thing on television, but Mrs. W absolutely loves it. I'm well happy, mate. I'm so happy because we've won, and that's why we do it.
Well, look,
we do it for days like today, Peter.
Exactly. You've got to enjoy today, otherwise, all of that investment that all of those and home fans as well, but the away fans have had, let's face it, pretty thin gruel in terms of results and often performances. Today, some people are going, well, still not entirely convinced, exactly as Colin said. It wasn't everything. I thought it, to me on the TV, it looked a bit better than it must have done in the ground. But sometimes different perspectives gives you those different things. But let's face it, nobody can say that Watford fans haven't deserved to be coming down the M1. Or in your case, probably going via Bristol, kind of to go and enjoy the aftermatch. Afterglow, shall we say?
Can I give one shout out, Peter?
You give one shout out.
Kieran Guards. Even before his goal, I thought he was having a good centre forwards game, holding the ball up, protecting it, laying it off. It's a hard job. He was playing on his own. I know we went to a 2 eventually, but yeah. I thought he took his goal beautifully. Doesn't he get in front of that defender? That's not the first time he scored that type of goal. Nipping in front and being first, and he's going to be a player. He will be sold one day for a lot of money.
I would have personally, and we said about this on the group on at half time. I would have liked to have seen Doumbia come on for him. Or not for him, but to come on alongside him, because I think he looks a different prospect. Playing as a single striker, as he is still inexperienced at this level, I think he's shown a lot of promise. I thought today there was one time down the left where Mama got in quite early and put the ball across, and the defender got there first of all, and he didn't get across him. He needs to get across him. The next time it happened, he got across him, but it didn't happen. He took that goal beautifully, and it was really nice to see it. However, let's face it, we've made a number of substitutions to go from that sort of 4-2-3-1 shape into either a 4-2-4 or a 4-4-2, depending on how you take your formations, and we've won it. So look, he's played his part. I think you're absolutely right to call him out, because that goal is a pivotal moment in the game. Without that, do we get to the penalty? Who knows? Who knows? But it's good to see. But it was nice to see us coming back to 2 up front at some points in the game and going after it and going and thinking we can get something out of this. And getting it, we've criticised a number of times the fact that we have quite a young team, quite an experienced team. I think at 2-0 down, you could look at that game and go, we've probably got better potential, but they've got really kind of hardy championship players. Nothing says that like that second goal where, let's face it, Cipriano was.
They're not very special though, Pete.
No, they're not. But sometimes that's all you need. And I give you the last, back through till February, all of our games away. To come up against teams who aren't necessarily special, don't have what we've got technically, but they have other attributes. And at 2-0, it felt like it was going to go that way. Credit to Javi and credit to the team, every single one of them, for coming in and changing it and getting something back, both tactically, individually, and indeed collectively. Most importantly, and well done to all you guys who went up there and supported them. Have a very, very safe journey back, everybody. That's lovely stuff. Thank you very much indeed. Let's get to oh, sorry, I thought I'd added you in, but I was wrong. Let's get across. There's only one way to really follow up with Wendover, kind of the king of optimism, and that's getting across to Florida and getting to the king of childcare, which is Uncle Ron. But we've got a spinning wheel of doom, everybody. It might not happen. It might not happen. Before I say anything, Carl Wilson, I went to let you in and it didn't let me for some reason. Do request again and I'll get you back in. Uncle Ron, sir, are you there?
I'm here.
You're there.
I'm here.
You are there. Now, look, we spoke the other day when we'd won about the importance of 2 up front and how well it is to play. Today, and you just heard me talking to Wendover about it, we had a period where we had 1 up front, and then we had a period with 2 up front, which felt a little bit more chaotic, but we got the goals. What did you make of both periods of the game, and what are your general reflections, sir?
Well, I didn't think it was very good when we were 2-0 down, Peter.
No,
at all.
Fair enough.
No, not very good at all. And then Irankunda comes on. I think he's a joy, that player, Peter. I don't find much joy watching Watford, but this player, he's a joy to watch. He's a wonderful, wonderful player, and a fantastic result. And I must disagree with Wendover about Carringard. I thought he had a stinker before his goal.
Yeah, he did take his goal well.
Yes. The goal was brilliant, a fantastic finish. But up to then, I thought he looked ponderous, slow. The ball that Irankunda put across, he could have got. You got to get any part of your body on that. Throw yourself at that, and he didn't do it. So
that was an interesting one. I thought that because Carringard had gone in and he'd taken the 2 Derby players with him, and Mama had kind of pulled for the cutback. And as it was, Irankunda kind of blasted it across a cross-come shot, I think we like to try to call it, don't we? And I think it was the wrong sort of selection from Irankunda at the time. But hey, you've got to buy a raffle ticket, and it might not pay off. But you think that Carringard should have got on the end of that?
Yes, and he's got the size, Peter, and his body looks developed for his. He's young, but it's not like he doesn't have muscle. But for some reason, he seems sort of a little frightened to use it. I don't know if he needs some sort of education from, I don't know, I'm trying to think of even a Deeney type to use his body a bit better, perhaps.
Yeah, there's the quintessential player whose game wasn't entirely based, but a massive part of his game was based exactly as you say on strength and on understanding how to deal with championship centre backs in both the psychological and physical manner. You could think we could do a lot worse than bring him in if his media career allowed, because that's burgeoning and being very successful as well. You've always said about bringing on 2 players, 2 up front. Do you think that is that also part of the solution to the enhancement, shall we say, of Carringard's game? Because I appreciate opinions will divide as to whether or not it was, he had a good or a bad game. Goal, brilliant, absolutely couldn't agree with you more. Do you think he just needs to see somebody up alongside him, supporting him in closer proximity?
I think that would help him tremendously, and we mustn't forget how poor this division is. You've got Derby with Vyman coming on, who was playing for us donkeys years ago, and is a donkey. And we're playing Preston on Tuesday, and Preston, they don't have players of our talent. They have shit houses, which we don't really have. I think we miss that. I think we do need a Gavin Mann type, a Mackay type, but play 2 up front, get at them from the beginning. We shouldn't have any fear whatsoever of playing 2 up front and attacking teams like this. And Greg made another good point, actually, about Barr being immature. And it's very interesting contrasting him and Irankunda, because Irankunda gets taken out, and his immediate reaction, I think when he got taken out for the penalty, his reaction wasn't to have a go at the player who did it. It was sort of delight. No, it was for the free kick at the end. Delight that he'd won the free kick. Yeah. Whereas Barr always seems to rise to the bait and I'm glad he's not injured because he doesn't deserve to be injured. But his petulance led to that problem.
A discipline
His
thing.
petulance led to him. Yeah, it was discipline. It was reacting. It was an unnecessary sort of coming together, and he's got to learn from that. And he's a great player, but he's got to learn because Iran Kunda, when he gets taken out, he doesn't react.
Yeah, it's a good. No, it's a very good point, and it's important that we learn lessons when we win as well as when we lose, because we'll all have the quite understandable wailing and gnashing of teeth and kind of post-mortems. When we win, it's also important to look at the performance that we had. And it's all right for us all to disagree, etc. But we will see. It's an important week, obviously, with, as you mentioned, Preston, with all of their, I think you described them as shit houses coming down on Tuesday. They've had an encouraging season so far. I haven't seen how they got on today, but that's another tough one in the championship going in. Do you feel optimistic, or are you in the sort of like holding your chips back as to whether or not to kind of lay your heart on the table for this team?
I will be optimistic if we start 2 strikers, Iran Kunda starts, and that Gracia's first words before they go out should be, "Don't rise to any shithousery." And if he does that and he plays an attacking team, we should thrash them.
I for one will love the day when Yavi comes out at the pre-match press conference and is asked a question by Jeff Doyle and says about, "So what have you been working?" "We are not responding to shithousery." I will love that. I will absolutely fucking love that. That's something we might have to put in a request to see what we can do. Look, sir, I hope everything's good there with you and yours. Wonderful. There's Uncle Ron there. Look, people say he doesn't come on when we win. Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. And fair play to him. Let's get to, we're going to go to Johnny Hornet. And a speaker. Sorry, I'm getting all fingers and thumbs. Then we're going to go to Adam. Then we're coming to Ollie. Ollie, do stick with us, mate. We will be with you as soon as we can. Johnny, sir, are you there, or are you journeying by train?
Yeah, just on the train, Peter. On their way back to Leeds. My dad's with me. He's happy. So.
Yeah, look, you're one of the many who travel, and you travel for home games as well. But when you're traveling to away games, sometimes it might be nearer, such as Derby. But you've got something today. How did it feel? What was the atmosphere like in the away end?
The atmosphere was brilliant. Obviously it was dipped a bit when they went 2-0 up, but we just managed to set it, and that sort of end to the game was just amazing. It was just sort of unbelievable, really. I just felt like we started pretty positively today, and I thought Mama was great, but then it just sort of dipped, and they got their noses in front. I don't think they were that great, but then that sort of second goal, I thought that's it, done and dusted, really. But I think Derby probably just wanted us to kind of kill the game then, which I think was a bit of a mistake. I think they were trying to sort of kill the game, time waste a bit of Lady Boothroyd.
Yeah.
Rather than going for the third goal. And I think that kind of let us back into the game a bit. I was quite worried about the penalty with Kayembe taking it, but fair play to him and fair play to him to get in the goal. But yeah, that's the kind of games you just love going to, that sort of game with two late goals to win it.
It's lovely. I mean, Justin has just sent me a note, and he's put it up on screen if anybody is looking. Let me just bring this up, that's the first time that we've come from 2-0 down to win a game since the FA Cup semi-final against Wolves, which is lovely. And the last time we did it in the league was that one in 2016 away at West Ham. But I think we won that 4-2, didn't we? Yeah, that was 4-2. So those games are special, and they stay with us because of the roller coaster nature of it. As I've been saying, it's an important week. I mean, God, when is it not an important week in the calendar, obviously? But with Preston coming down, and then with Birmingham, what are your hopes? What do you think we could possibly get out of the next 2 games? Johnny, are you there?
I think if we got a home win and Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, gotcha.
Yeah, I think if we can beat Preston and then maybe draw with Birmingham, probably take that 4 points, solid result. I think Birmingham would be hard, but I would expect us to beat Preston. But I think as Ron said, they're probably about as we land on there, so it could be hard.
Very good. Very good. Well, we will see how it goes. You're going a bit in and out as the railway chugs along. But there's John. There's Johnny and his dad. Gentlemen, well done. Great, excellent as ever effort in supporting the Hornets. Let's get across again stateside. Let's get to Adam and see how everything is over there in the US of A. Adam, how you doing?
I'm doing well, mate. How are you?
Oh, well.
It was fun, wasn't it?
That was a nice one. That was a nice one, and we've always not fought against. There's always an element of win good, lose bad. Obviously, a part of it. But I think we can look at that. For in the main, and opinions will differ. I think I saw a lot in there that I really quite liked, and it was interesting that the 2 late goals came with the things that I thought we might be missing a little bit of today. I thought we might be missing a bit of character against a wily old, to use Ron's phrase, a bunch of kind of shit houses or what have you, who know how to kind of win. But we got at them and we managed to turn it round, wrestle it round. So yeah, absolutely fun indeed.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've come back from 2-0. I thought the start was very impressive. It's probably one of our best starts to a game this season. Do you agree?
I was really pleased with with most of the first half, and it was like I don't know whose commentary you were listening to, but
Three Counties,
and Simon Oxley and good old Derek Payne. And Derek Payne said, pointed out, not being daft, something we all know, which is that's why it's so important to score when you are on top. And we didn't really create enough. So I can understand why people went or have looked at that first half and gone, well, no, not really, not for me, because we got there and then it all stopped in the final third. But I thought it looked so much more coherent, really promising, especially in that first 10 minutes. People are absolutely right. And then they come and work against us. You go 2-0 down, you think, oh, blimey.
I thought, oh my God, we're just not taking our opportunities because you can't, this team, and it's happened many, many times. Dominant possession, great up until the final third. And then they don't have that killer instinct, typically.
Well, yeah, potentially typical, but today not at all. It was it was all good at the end, and interesting that a player who's been a bit of an anti-hero or whatever you want to call him, because Sissoko and KMB are often said in the same sentence and in the same example as players who have equally frustrated. I think KMB has been for quite some time, for me personally, well ahead of Sissoko in terms of the level of contribution and what he does. But today, fair play. As some people have said, where are the KMB haters? Well, I wouldn't class myself as a hater. I'd certainly put myself in the class of Sissoko as that. I
told one on Facebook off today after he was slating KMB. I'm like, are you still slating him now? 2 goals. He's always got a goal in him, that guy. I mean, he's got a cracking shot on him.
The difficulty with him is, for me, is that so often when we are looking to build up, and I thought we missed Cipriano in one of the recent games. I can't remember which one it was for the moment now. And he will tend to get the ball and pass backwards. Today, when he got the ball, he seemed to want to try to go forward. Didn't always come off, but he was looking to get forward. And I think if you can judge something by the psychology of the interaction of the team, and we know we've seen people bark at each other. Yes, when you've just gone 3-2 up from going 2-0 down, of course you're going to be happy. But I love the fact that him and Loser were just like opposite each other, going. It didn't matter who'd scored that goal. At the end, Cipriano, who got taken off, was in there as much as was Bar celebrating that.
It was very refreshing to see at the end as well how happy the players were for us, the fans. I mean, the players were literally joyful themselves. So it was, I don't know, there's a togetherness there for sure that's been missing for quite a while.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the reports, and we've said about it before, And so it feels like, the reports that, we heard a little bit about from what was said earlier on in the week at the training ground, but other reports that we've heard from the training ground have been that, it's like chalk and cheese in terms of the day in, day out experience now, because we know what Yavi will do. He'll come in and he's considered to be a good coach. He's even more experienced than when we had him previously, but more importantly, he's a good guy. And he'll spend time and talk with people. And as we heard earlier on again, him talking about Bar and saying, no, he's just got to add this to his game. And a lot of players will give you an awful lot back in terms of effort and discretionary effort and performance, if they've got it in their locker, if you're treating them like a person. And your interest is in trying to help and develop them to move on, which is, as a club, what we've surely got to be about with our players. And I think we can see that. I think it's very, very nice to be important, but he's a great example of why it's also important to be nice, especially in the if you're working and operating in Watford. I think it's not just what people do. I think it's also how they carry themselves and how they do things. For me, that's important. It's not just Watford isn't just about winning is great. It's also about wanting to have a connection with the players, with the team, with the club, with other supporters, which is roughly speaking why we do this old load of nonsense, because it's just nice to have a chat and go, look, it's Adam. He's on from America. Isn't it good? Oh, so
and it brings me closer to you all. So what can I say?
Well, exactly. What's not to like in that instance? Excellent stuff. Excellent stuff. Adam, sir, have a great rest of the weekend. After the cricket debacle this morning, if anybody was into that, a lot of people were saying, oh, I hope Watford don't do badly today, otherwise it's going to be a very long day. It's not going to be a very long day, people. It all went well. I was looking to finish with Ollie, but we got Spinning Wheel of Doom, Ollie. Oh, you've gone on to listen. Try one more time, and I'm going to try and get you on again. Let's see if we can. If not, we will go to the 5-word reviews and do all of that sort of malarkey. I like the word malarkey. I should use it more often in conversation. Let's do that, shall we then? Yes, why not? Why not? Right, give me a second, everybody. Ollie is requesting. Let's try this again. Let's try this. Ollie, are you there?
Hello, how are you?
I'm all right. Well done. You've either switched phones or switched icons or what have you. Look, sir, what do you think about that? And whereabouts are you? Are you travelling back from Derby by any chance?
Yeah, we're an hour and 21 minutes away.
Oh, well done. Well done indeed. Come on then. You tell us, how has your day been?
Well, I thought it was okay. I mean, the end was brilliant, but I thought near the middle of the game we weren't at our best, and I think we started okay, but feel like we dropped off near to the end of the second half. But apart from that, I thought we did all right.
Oh, very good. Okay, well, I mean, away wins don't come around every day, so I hope you can at least enjoy the best of it. Who would be, because we haven't asked anybody, who would be your man of the match? Asking Ollie the tricky questions. Go on.
Probably, well, it's got to be KMB in my opinion. Two key goals. Yeah, it's got to be KMB for me. I don't think he played well up until the two goals,
but the 2 goals do it for you. Oh, I think we've lost Ollie somewhere on the. I think we've lost him somewhere on the M1. But we got there. He got in. He came in. He awarded the man of the match. He slapped. He went. I think that's the phrase, isn't it? I can't remember. Right. Let's get across to the 5-word reviews for everybody and see what everybody's been saying there. And also, obviously, let's see what people are saying on YouTube. Dave Lavender said, that's why we love football. 2-0 up. And you fucked it up. Yeah, very, very true indeed. That's good. Let me turn that off. There we go. Tidy things up. We'll get there eventually. Let's have a look. Gaz says, game lasts 90. Who knew? Comeback kings on the charge. He says, Mark Carpenter says, finally we have an away win. Never give up, never surrender, says Mark of England, with a fantastic, what's that? What was that? What was the show? What was the film? What was the film? Galaxy Quest. That was it. There we go with Tim Allen. Never give up, never surrender. About fucking time too, lads, says Pete Joyless Jones. Not words that you heard in Galaxy Quest. Very much a family film. Harry says Kayembe to all his doubters. A lovely picture of Harvey Elliott basically flicking two fingers up. Watford coming from behind, says a Kingswood Hornet, with the matron kind of look of Kenneth Williams, which is always a pleasure. Vic Bate earlier on, first one we went to, he said weird whole game, great result, absolutely. Sheila Blige, nice one, Gary. I do like that. That's a very good one. Edo Kayembe haters not happy. Malk says always rated that Kayembe fella. Ian the Hornet says been a long time coming. It sure has. Frank says mega pot noodle and wank. There you go. But there's always. I don't know whether or not we need some kind of it's like the Richter scale. It's you know, kind of understanding the seismic levels of pot noodle and wank in Frank's pieces. Today, mega pot noodle, everybody. Alan WFC was that was all about Yavi. Pete Unhippy Man, Mr. Fincham said, who was slagging off Yavi? I hope nobody was slagging off Yavi today. Bar is celebrating Edo Kayembe, says Harry. Anyone know the Luton score? Says says Mr. Parslow, and Mr. Parslow Senior with 3 fingers. I'll see your 3 and I'll raise you 5 for Barnsley. Just saying. I know. You think we'd be beyond that, but frankly, we're not. There you go. Just saying. That's the first time I think this season that I've shown that, and it probably won't be the last. Oh, what's going on? The screen's going all over the place, everybody. I'm losing control, if control I ever had. Bloody love that Edda family, says Mark N74. Never in doubt was it, says Simon Parkinson. Willie Eckers says, hooray, it's about bloody time. Dr. Dickie Sutton says, sangria time. Wirral Hornet Steve says, Yavi is a genius. Yeah. Sheila Blige says, we've won away about time. M says, always said Kayembe was God. That is possibly exaggerating a little, M, but I'll allow you to get away with it. Gary Fleming says, where are all the Edo haters? Zlatan said, great comeback, but first half was actually terrible. He thought Yavi is a very lucky man, as losing that would have been on him. So many poor performers that shouldn't get picked. Great result in the end, though. There you go. David Edrop 2 says, always said Kayembe was class. Yeah, me too. Yeah, no. I just vanish in a puff of hypocrisy. What a great day out, says David Sweet. Rob Sterry, as we heard, we are raising money for you, Rob, as we speak, for basically correcting the fact that he had to watch the game over spotty Wi-Fi from Turks and Caicos Islands for Thanksgiving break. Close to turning off at 2-0. Glad I resisted. Well done, Rob. One of life's winners there, even if your Wi-Fi isn't complying. George, Watford fans are you, said Edo Kayembe, all is forgiven. Rob C, Index Jesus, says the Gracia effect. Huge heart. Fucking Yavi masterclass, says Yellow Army. Nick Books says, it's the Yavi party again. Vince Smith. QCC Peniston, finally. I like that. Andrew Argent, POM, says, about time we won away. Andy Swan finds us some Penisol. Now, you may wonder where we're going there, but it's a carton full of sangria. See what he did there? That's very good. I like that a lot. Edo Kayembe, never in doubt, says Taste the Biscuit 1979. Ben said, I spend the day at the Colosseum in Rome, but the real gladiators today were in yellow at Pride Park. Nice touch. I hope Jarvis enjoyed the Colosseum. Probably not there, but that would have been a hell of a video, wouldn't it? As Tequizit says, worth the stand. Oh, worth the stand still on the M1 from Harry and Jackie. You wouldn't pronounce it last time. I apologize. I do my best, but as you know, Harry, my best is very, very bad indeed. Steve Gold puts me into a moral quandary with his point of always ignore Watford X posters. And he's posted that on X. So now I don't know what I'm going to do. Do I ignore Steve or do I take his advice? I'm not sure. I might disappear in a puff of logic. Fortunately, I go to Steve Woolley, who said his head is fucking massive, which I like indeed. Jason said his head's fucking massive. Edo Kayembe, Steve Woolley's back again. As I said earlier on, biggest comeback since Jesus Christ. Let's be honest, that's a big name to throw at the comeback pot, I have to say. Yavi Grazia, he drinks sangria. Get the fuck in there, you horns. It's all good. It's all good. Nothing bad whatsoever. So there we go. There are our 5 words. Let's just quickly snip back across to the normal nonsense where we are there, and let's get through some of these, and then we'll finally finish off with the long forms. Ben Thornhill said Borough earlier on. I have no idea why. I think Aaron Kunda should get a special mention for the second half, says Ben Thornhill, 7903. Oh, the joy of coming from behind, says Milchman. That just writes itself, let's be frank. Thought Derby were pretty poor, back to Ben Thornhill, and unambitious as a team. Well, they got one up. Oh, they got two up, I should say. And then, I think they basically didn't really expect to do that without Carlton Morris. He's been their talisman for the last 4 games and, quote unquote, has evolved how they've been able to play as a team, moving the ball up the pitch. They were up 2-0 without really playing particularly well. Then we gave them, kind of a parity, if you will, in the middle and 2v2. And we slowly got into that game and using the width, suddenly got back to it. Anyway, let's just enjoy those 3 points, not worry about them too much. Absolutely fantastic, says H2025. They kept going, got the win. Exactly. Wasn't expecting it, but we'll take it. Ben's back again. Carlton Morris going off early doors was potentially a massive blessing. I don't disagree with that at all. 2 points off the playoffs, and Chak still to come back in. Just saying, says HJ2025. Well, this is true. We heard from Rich earlier on and was mentioning not the injury, but the thing about saying, well, we're not looking to sell anybody, but obviously if stupid money is offered, then of course it's going to be taken. We are not in a club who can afford not to do that. However, probably not looking to bring anybody in because we've got a sizable squad, which is a fantastic point. But also that sizable squad is already going to have, fingers crossed, if he's now back in full training at some point in the next, I don't know, week, 2 weeks, month, whenever it is, in that second half of the season, injury, kind of willing, we're going to have an additional player who is really like having an additional 15, 20, 25 million pound player coming back, Chak Fadadza. This could end up becoming, the bump of a gear that we might want to have. He also says 2 points off the playoffs. Yeah, no, that's the same thing. I just read it twice for some reason. Mark Schofield said earlier on, he said, I was so angry at 2-0, I decided to have a catnap. And lo and behold, we went on to win 3-2 away. More catnaps for Mark, we say. Absolutely staggering comeback. Ben adds in, still not overly convinced by us on the whole, but that kind of comeback will do a lot for the confidence, especially for Iran Kunda. Looks like a confidence player. We'll need him now free from injuries. Absolutely. Ben also said, really miss Vata. Yeah, well, I don't know if you heard it earlier on, the clever money is he's out until not the end of the season, but not a lot before it. I don't know what that means, obviously, in terms of it, but it was like, we're going to have to look for, I imagine, Chak first of all, and then get him back. As we all know, he'd really, I think he'd taken a step up this season, and obviously we wish him nothing but good in coming back. League is so tight, says Ben. Had we lost, we'd be 17th. Having won, we are now only 3 points behind 4th. Yeah, it is tight, but does that mean it doesn't take much extra to push us over the cliff into really, really good things, or does it mean that we, we're not there? I think we've got a lot of that quality that if we can add what we saw today in terms of resilience, in terms of determination, in terms of bloody mindedness to try to get a result, that might help. Because I don't think, Derby haven't won 5 games for no reason. And we've turned up today, and in the first half, for large parts of it, reduced them to set pieces. They get the goal. Fair play, really well taken from Sanderson. I thought he hit it very, very well. But thereafter, those 2 goals conceded, which are very obviously annoying from our point of view, I thought we did all right. I thought we did okay. And if you can add that, the comeback against these kind of teams and the characteristics and the criteria that you need to have that onto the level of technique that we do have within the squad, the options that we have. Mama is now suddenly, okay. I think there was elements today where I think we all go, yeah, we can see where this is going. He's not been given the African Young Player of the Year for nothing. Well, we've got a lot of their good talent that we want to see come through. I suspect that whilst it looks good today, in a year's time, with more experience, it'll look even better. The question, obviously, with us is always trying to keep a team together for a year. Sean WFC says, great result, thanks to what was a pretty poor Derby side. He says, think this team lacks maturity in key moments if we want to be looking up the table. That's exactly what we're talking about. I mean, today is an opportunity for it to either be a flash in the pan or a learning curve. and we can't judge that until we get into further games in similar positions. Ben says that the Mark Schofield's nap should now has become pivotal. He should do it again, absolutely. Bar was celebrating like a lunatic, says Lee J, when we scored. So he says hopefully it was just cramp. Luton lost 5-0. Mind the gap, says Peter Harrison. I have done so accordingly. Derby fans coy saying that they should have had 3 pens. Lol. It was said. Ben's back again. Kieran Garn's finish for the first goal was very tidy. Lee J says still not convinced with Yavi. Time will tell. Yavi always comes across as a genuinely nice bloke, says Ian Hiles. Hello, Ian. And Dumbia has to start for me. Simply more dynamic, says Lee J. It's nice to have the options there, because whoever's on, if it's not working, we've at least got a plan B in terms of personnel. OJ Tavito says, love this league. West Bromwich was on 7th while leading at Coventry, and is now on the same at 17th place. We were where we were while we were basically down against Derby, now which was on 6th. They're now 17th. We are 11th, and Derby are 12th. Yeah. It's potty, but that's the thing that you got to like about the championship. Surely, absolutely. Love you, Justin. Peter. Look, and on occasion, Carl. Yeah, no, Carl won't do anything good with your love. You take that away, Lucy. Don't you take your love to town, or something or other like that. Anyway, right. Let's get across to final. Crikey, guys, you're staying with me. Thank you very much indeed. Let's get across to the long forms. Those people who decided they want to say a little bit more. Let's see, where are we? Oh no, that's a Ricky Gervais one. Where's that gone? Blimey, we've had lots of things added on. Sorry, people. Why have we got a Ricky Gervais thing? Oh, we reposted. Oh, Derby 2, Watford 3. Come on, you horns. That is tremendous. Whoever has done that, very, very, very good indeed. There's me. Let's get past that succinctly. Long forms, let's get there. Come on. Right. So Dr. Dickie Sutton says K9's goal today was identical to his one against Borough at home, and Gaki across and a stroked finish. That's very true. One was at the far post, one was at the near, but that's good. Training ground routine, ? Or exclamation mark. Watch the vids. They're identical. Bedfordshire Hornet, that was Ian. We saw him earlier on, I think second caller in. Incredible atmosphere in the away end today, Ian, and everybody who went away. Really, really glad you've had a fantastic day. Hampshire Hornet says a really great win. Just wish we could make it easier for ourselves to really progress. We need to iron out the habit of conceding first. That's statistically, I think, 80% of the games at least that we can see first. Shame to see Bar hobble off. Imagine that's him done for the season. No, it doesn't sound it necessarily. Sheila Blige says, always like Barnsley FC. Now let's just see what creeps up on screen here. Barnsley 5, yes, lots of scorers there. Luton 0. Oh dear. Never mind. Got to enjoy it. Great comeback, says Dr. Dickie Sutton. Great comeback win, but with my doctor's white coat on, Bar's recurring injury does worry me. Ooh, explosive players are susceptible to pulls and strains. Recovery must be carefully managed. He'll miss a few games, but I'd revert him to impact sub duty. I worry he'll never be a 90-minute player. It's like that. He has got that sort of sprinter's frame, hasn't he? Very, very muscular, and you can see the explosion of pace that he has. And some sprinters do get that. So I'm told. Like, I would know anything about sprinting, honestly. Cy Paris says, absolutely love that. This club will be the death of me. Almost definitely. Sorry to let you know, but Gary, that's probably what it'll be about. Watford Limericks, let's do it now. Even though today's game really mattered, I've been out on the town getting battered. So all that I know is that we put on a show and our Gracia dreams still aren't shattered. Excellent. Very good. You can't deny it. When it comes to limericks, Watford have got it absolutely snug. Carl says, the first half we had a plan and it didn't work. Second half, we did an A-team. The plan came together. Like it. I like any references to the A-team. That'll do me any day. What a day of mixed emotions. Sad about Bar when you think he was not sprinting and his hamstring went. This is why we love football. Yeah, no, that's true. Well, he was in that middle of the strength. Oh, another one from Carl. He says, first half, only 7 touches in the Derby box and no shots on target. Yeah, it all slowed down when we got to the final third. Snowboys here with our Romania League Two update, and I'm very, very glad to say, great result today. Great news after a poor show by Romania in the World Cup qualifiers. ASA Targu Mores win 2-1 against CSM Tunari, second now in League Two in Romania. This is just the gift that keeps giving, to be quite frank. I thought the Ecuadorian second division was good, but now, to be honest with you, I'm just hooked on Romania. Jeff Marsh says, how close is Georgie? And will he get in the side? Question mark. I don't know. I mean, it was stated, first game of the season by people on this very sort of show type thing, that we didn't know where he was. It seems to be kind of stress injury related. He's now back in training. They're taking it very, very slowly, very, very cautiously. There's nothing wrong with the way they're trying to do this. It's just so he's going to come back when he comes back. Will he get it? Would he get in the side? Would we play in that particular way? Yeah, I think you can use somebody like Georgie at any point. And of course, he will want to be, if he possibly can. And if Georgia are anywhere near getting to the World Cup in the summer, I'm fairly sure they're in the playoffs. I could be wrong. Then he'd want to be coming back in and getting his run out there. Carl Wilson says, just shows it's a squad game, and we've got a great squad. Great subs by Yavi. Absolutely. That's good. Harry Phillips, we heard from him earlier on, said, never said a bad word about KMB. Latin, I said earlier on, first half appalling. He said, K9 so poor. Hector, poor. And Yavi under pressure. Bar, an idiot, he says. At times, actually looked like they weren't even footballers. When it all changes, Dumbia ball for the second. Superb. Man of the match has to be Matty, he says. There you go. Jake said, Luton get battered everywhere they go. Where did they go today? Oh, I think it was Barnsley, and they lost 5-0 for anybody who doesn't know. Wendover is right about Strictly, says Jesse Hornet. What a load of shit that is. Well, frankly, I believe, again, opinions are divided. It's not something that I wish to split the Watford fans over as to whether or not Strictly is shit. But personally, I'm with you all the way. Carl Wilson, time to break out the honey. Oh, stop, Carl. Jesse Hornet says, just left Pride Park on Coach 2. What a game. Can I just say, I love Kayembe. Well, that's news for you, Edo. There you go. Carl Wilson, I live for days like these, he says. Lee Johnson. And just to check, how did the Scum get onto it? They lost 5-0, Lee. Thank you for inquiring. They were at Derby, and they didn't score any goals, but Derby did. They scored 5. They did all the scoring there, just so you know. Jake says, glad we won. Fair enough. A bit of an overreaction from me. Fair fucking play to Kayembe. The season starts now, surely. Well, fingers crossed. We'll see. But look, this is all... It's a roller coaster. We're going to have good days. We're going to have bad days. We hope to have more good days than bad days. Those guys who have been traveling away, since last February, hoping to see something and not really getting an awful lot of response and pretty thin gruel. Today, the club and the team dug something out, Has anyone seen Carlton Morris? Jack Wilshire, Luton, Derby, Bob the Wanking Edwards, he says. And that was Stan XF. Thank you, Stan. That's the kind of thing we like to see. If you're going to finish off on anything, finish off on Rob Wanking Edwards. No, that doesn't sound right at all, does it? Never mind. Look, there we are. 3-2, 2-0 down, and you fucked it up. We got it back. There's. I thought that what's his name? I've forgotten his name momentarily. The lad in midfield for Derby looked like I thought he was a good player. I can't remember. Ebu Adams. I thought he was a pain in the arse, to be quite frank. I really did. I thought, oh my God, he was one of those players who was going box to box. His passing wasn't bad. He's just a constant irritant. And that was, I thought, something that we were missing. But as we get there, closer in, we bring on subs, we change the shape, we gamble to try to get something back in the game, and we manage it. And it's 3 points, and people are coming away from Derby, some of them slowly, some of them still in a car park, but they're doing it nonetheless with 3 points. So there we go. We move looking towards Preston on Tuesday. The opposition view, we recorded it a couple of days ago with a lovely chap called Jack from the Butter Pie podcast, and that will be out probably in the morning, because I'm not going to get it finished till night. And that will be coming out, and we will see how this reacts. Hopefully we can see more of this kind of qualities coming out a little bit more as we move forward. Anyway, thank you very much indeed for sticking with us. 3 points, away wins. Let's have more of that, please. Come on, you Orns.